I don't know. I don't think
Where
so.
is everybody? Where is everybody?
Yeah, nobody's here.
Where are all you guys? We're on early, as always.
Yeah, we're always here just waiting for people because we are very prompt. Generally.
If you're not on time, you're early. No, that's not how the saying works. What is it? If you're early, you're on time. I screwed it up. I'm sorry. I screwed it up.
I would think Barry Odom would be if you're on time, you're late type of guy.
Thank you. If you're on time, you're late. I don't know why. I knew something was going to screw up at the beginning of the show. Everything went too smoothly.
It turns out it was you.
It was my brain. It was
somebody had to do it, and you just
that was me.
I mean, I'm since we like to do all our troubleshooting on the fly. I'm looking at the Boiled Sports. There it is. No, we're live. Okay, never mind. Stand by.
Yeah, we're good. I got the notification. It's great. You actually remembered to rename the podcast.
Oh, shut up. Look, we're 230 episodes in.
We'll get it.
I'm getting the hang of it, okay?
We'll get it one day.
It's the Boiled Sports Handsome Hour. It's Handsome Hour 230. Not that we ever reveal the number because we never really know till we're going to post it. It's the Handsome Hour. It's Jay. It's Boiler Dad and Anish. We haven't introduced ourselves in a long time, so I'm sure we've got many new
Every
viewers.
podcast is somebody's first.
We're going to spend 30 minutes a piece giving our background and how we got to this point, catch you all up, and then we'll start this week's show.
I was born in.
It was a stormy night.
Yes, a stormy evening, several hours before America was birthed.
That's right.
That's right.
You look great for your age.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Purdue is 2-0, and I actually named I'm going to put this at the bottom. Purdue ever lose again? No. They may not. It's hard to say.
We're on pace for what? 16? Is that or is it? What's the total number of wins?
Well, if you get a bye, you don't have to go all the way through. So if you
15,
win the conference,
right?
So 15, you got to win 3.
So the max you can do is 15, because there's no way that Big Ten or SEC would get that many wins and not get the bye.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
No, so but if it were possible, it would be if Purdue did it.
Yeah, correct. Because they're like, we're not putting Purdue like there. You guys get the 5 seed and it'll be fine.
Hey, Anish, I don't know if you know this, but there's an organic ground swell. There's a movement and it's in the A Money is becoming your nickname in some circles. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, but I do have to. I told Jay this last week because I was listening. I wasn't on the podcast, and it was lovely to listen to both of your sultry voices. I laughed out loud at the Eddie Money joke. Like, that's right. I laughed out. You have any famous relative? Well, Eddie Money. It's
right. Exactly. That's great.
My cousin, or no, he didn't even lay it on that thing. He was like, "Well, my cousin Eddie."
Yeah, that was
and
good.
It was
he was ready for it. He was ready for it.
Good.
I don't know how that came. Yeah. You were very impressed with how fast I came up with that. I remember that. Yeah. You were impressed, and it was not loaded. We didn't plan that one. And I also said that's a joke for the older crowd because I guarantee there are people who have no idea who Eddie Money is.
Well, but the real reason though, I bragged about your tailgating and
yes.
the A game that you brought, and somebody said, it sounds to me a little bit like Anish might be moving on up to the Near East side.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's not that I am rich. I'm no way more wealthy than our resident billionaire or our cattle ranch, our Texas ranch, Texas rancher with hundreds of acres in of prime acreage in Texas.
There's a lot of money.
I think he's got cows, he's got chickens, he's got oil, he's got everything on the land.
He's so wealthy that he doesn't even have time for us anymore.
Exactly. But really, it is the only thing that I spend my money on. I legitimately, on the way home, I bought a few extra things for the next tailgate because that's when I remember. I'm like, oh, these are the things that I need, and so I actually by the time I got home,
you bought like a $7,000 gas generator on the way home.
Oh, you know, it's great. It's great.
He was telling me, Jay, that after he got I don't even know if you're fully back, but you're close to back. And you said, man, we were so close. We can get there. He was telling me the things we need to tweak to make it perfect. And I'm like, I'm in.
My quest for a perfect tailgate is first of all, like Captain Ahab. That's maybe what A stands for in A Money. It's Ahab. I'm here just to to try to find my white whale, and I'll never catch him. I'll never
Right,
catch him.
right. But
But it'll
you
be
gotta
there.
seek it. You gotta chase it.
My need for a perfect tailgate is honestly, it is way higher than my need for Purdue Purdue
Well,
football to win 10 games. I need the perfect.
We all have one thing, right?
He told me this, and I said, "You're fast approaching the guy who just doesn't even go into the game, who just watches the game on his big screen TV at the tailgate and preps the food for everyone to come back out and come out to a hot meal ready for them."
Right.
You can see this,
That's
right?
that's what a good host is.
Honestly, that sounds great.
Doesn't that
so
sound amazing?
Good. That sounds so awesome. Like oh no.
Slow cooking. You've got 3.5 hours to slow cook something that nobody even knows is there.
And you get there a little late, and he's looking at his watch. The food's cold now. I saw when the game ended.
I gotta
and
be real.
What took you to so long to get here?
Can I tell you something? I came up with one of the things that I bought was a solution to grilled food getting cold at a tailgate.
Right.
Brother, I'm in. In for a penny, in for a pound.
All right, let's go.
He's got a little like warming thing. You can put how you always put the food in the tin and then it's cold after a while. Well, he's got a little warmer to put it on.
That's why I was over the grill, or I was over it's not a grill, it's a griddle. I was over a griddle the entire tailgate, and the reason I was over it is because I wanted everyone to have hot.
Let's paint the picture. Let's paint the picture for everybody, because when the BS crew does it, like when everybody comes in, and this wasn't just everybody, the entire Money Clan came, which I think was the first time.
I think it might be.
The entire
bonus money
came. Some of my friends and friends of friends came. I think friends of LBD came and hung out. So we, the average age came down a little bit, which was nice.
They hung out there, and I don't know if they were hiding between two cars for some reason.
Great. I mean, but that's like a cool, like there were a couple different zones for sitting. Right. We had the TV. We had 3 different tents. Me and Boiler Dad were on either side of the buffet with 2 grills going. Life is good.
Does it sound like doesn't it, to all our listeners, doesn't that sound like, someone said earlier, they jumped in here and they said they're back in their happy place. I see that as a compliment for the show, but I'm telling you that the tailgate is Anisha's happy place.
That is absolutely,
there's no doubt.
That is,
and the friends you mentioned of LBD, I also like it when he left, and I don't like it when he left, but he left and they stuck around. That's always fun
cool.
when they're like,
awesome. I love that. I love that. It's so neat. I don't know. I didn't tell you guys this, but one of the girls was his ex-girlfriend from high school, and she stuck around, and that was really neat to have her around because I like her. But that's kind of a nice compliment, right? That she likes our family enough that she's still stuck around with her friends, and that was good.
Anytime, as I'm at the age, I'm not quite at the completely old age, but I'm definitely at the age where I'm not young anymore, and so I am flattered whenever people intentionally want to hang out.
Yeah, nice. No kidding. You see that message right there?
Greg McManus says Anish with a special single-use tailgating TV.
Correct.
He gets it at the end of the tailgate. He breaks it over his knee.
Correct.
Disposable TV.
That's it.
Everything's disposable if you try hard enough.
That's right.
Let's be honest.
Correct. Or if you have enough money, it's good.
So I was a little sad. So after the game, I did my group, my block for tickets. We hung out a long time, and I got back, and you guys were gone, and a little bit tears. Mrs. Money talked about. She said, "Yeah, we'll have a drink together," and I was like, "She could have a bourbon with me."
She likes to make those kind of, and then it gets late, and she goes,
"I'm pretty tired."
She goes, "I did say we were going to meet after the." I said, "I know you did. You do that all the time." Right. There's always that, like the.
You didn't say it. She said it, and tell her I wasn't mad. I was disappointed.
And we had a 10-year-old with us, so that's the other thing.
He's a trooper, dude.
He was real.
He was cooked at that point.
But he did
great. That's a long day.
The last time, I know for long-time listeners, and long time I mean for the last year, but you'll know that the last time that J Money Jr. came to a tailgate or came to a game was his first game. And J Money wanted him to have the full experience. We had a tailgate. We came early. It was a night game. It's same thing. You bring a 9-year-old to a tailgate at 12 o'clock for an 8 o'clock game, and he stayed the whole time. Not a moment of complaining. He had a ton of fun. It was the Purdue Oregon game. We didn't score a single point. I don't know if we got the ball over the 40-yard line, but that wasn't a thing that
when
happened.
You started that, I thought you were going to say you'd never bring a 9-year-old to a gunfight.
I listen. I
never know with
would,
a niche.
depending on
Or a 9-year-old to a knife fight. Either one, really not effective.
that 9-year-old or that
They're low
10-year-old
though,
now.
so a knife fight
I
it might
trust
work
that
out.
one.
Yeah.
The other J Money Jr. is real nice. J Money Jr. takes after me. I need somebody with a little edge to him. J Money Jr. is somebody that I would take in the when everything collapses,
In the
I'll need him
octagon?
in my corner. Yeah, exactly.
We have someone. I'm just going to throw this one up there. We were asked why we scheduled this during the Bears game. We do these on Monday nights. I don't know if you guys know this.
We've been doing it for a decade.
On
Monday at 9, pretty much.
I mean, like pretty much longer than that, but yes. Oh yeah, it used to be Wednesdays.
It was Wednesdays years ago, but this gives you time to marinate on it and listen. Gives a little longer shelf life.
You don't have to listen live. We just like it if you're here.
Well, someone said they're multitasking
like
and watching the game. I think you should multitask. We're not worth focusing on, paying attention. It's like when you're on a Zoom at work. Does anybody really listen the whole time? I actually had somebody at work. Swear to God, guys. It's someone at my job. When I said, sometimes when I'm on these calls, some people aren't always paying attention. And I swear to God, a colleague of mine was like, "Do you really think so?" I was like, "Have you ever been on a Zoom in your life?"
Yeah. What type of company do you work in that everybody's
imagine not having an extra tab open when you work? Like that's I can't.
If you've ever done it, you're like, wow. It's like when you see HD television for the first time and you really notice more details.
Here. It's like, wow.
You're like, you pick up on everything and you're like, hey, everyone catch all that? And people are like, I didn't even hear that. And you're like,
exactly. You're a thing.
Isn't it the worst when someone said something that's important and they said something important and you want to ask a question about that thing, but you're like, do I ask the question and give away?
You don't want to extend the meeting.
That I wasn't listening. You ask something.
Yeah, exactly.
The move is, wow, that was a great point. Is there a way that we can kind of summarize that for the folks that weren't here? It's a great move. This is the move.
Could you just restate what you just said?
Yeah, because it's like we need to do it a little bit more succinctly. We need to make sure that everybody that's not here gets that message.
Joe Ensley, I'd like you to keep it clean, please. He says he sounds like there were many happy endings this weekend. Not enough, my friend.
Relax.
That's another thing that I almost screwed up when I see this. These guys are taking notes on my post game.
Joe's listening. He's paying attention.
He is. I appreciate it.
Couple quick
I also stammered in the middle like a big idiot. Always good. And then that's all I think about, by the way. After I stream and I make a major mistake, I don't think about any of the successes. I think of the one dumbass.
You don't even hear yourself the rest of the time.
Exactly.
You're like on autopilot.
Yep.
Thinking about what you did wrong.
Stupid.
Well, the good thing is when we do these live, everyone's helpful and tells us what we got wrong in real time. That's the best. Ultimate Boiler says, so good seeing you guys Saturday. It was great to see a lot of you guys. That really was, seriously. It's great when people come up and say hello. And Broxton Davis, I want to put his up. He says, hello, pleased to meet you all Saturday. I felt like a celebrity sighting at first. Dab's up here. You're always welcome to join the rail hour with the Davises.
It's awesome.
So
great meeting you. Great seeing you. And I swear, tell me if I'm wrong, Broxton, we've met one other time. I think we have.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'd like to point out is if we ever look perplexed, like we can't remember your name, it's because we know your name's on here, but we rarely see your faces. You see our faces all the time. And I know it's totally natural to be like, hey, I was walking down the steps and someone like was waving from a distance. And I was like,
hey, hi.
But the one time you do that, they're actually waving to the person behind you. And
there's gonna be a hot girl right behind
you. Usually
a
young girl that's waving, and I'm like,
yeah, hi,
it's me. I think she's waving at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, come and tell us your. Don't tell us your government name. Tell us your screen.
It's easier. We can work our way towards
exactly. It's like, oh, Ultimate Boiler. What's up, dog?
Exactly.
Nita being versed says that Purdue has a better record than Texas. I'm not a mathematician or a rocket surgeon, but I think that means Purdue's greater than Texas.
Absolutely.
Correct.
I don't see any other way.
By the way, if you guys didn't see this, Jay sent us a link 2 hours ago.
What I send you?
Sark talking in the press conference. Oh my!
Oh, gosh. I got to put that on Twitter. I didn't tweet that.
It's amazing. I'll just describe it before. If check it out on Twitter. But the press asks, why is what's his first name, man? Arch. Why is Arch wincing when he's throwing? He's in pain. Why is he in pain? And he said, did he say that? Did he say he was in pain? And the media member says, no, I saw it. And he says, of course, the first thing you'd think of is, well, I don't go into the bathroom and watch you guys take a leak and see what faces you make. I was like, whoa,
what are you talking about?
What happened there, Sark? And I said it burns every time. So you would see.
I mean, he's implying that Arch was
I go to the doctor.
Going to the bathroom while he was throwing, I think is what the implication is there, which does happen, I suppose, on the field now.
Comes out sideways.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like, this is a safe space. I'm amongst friends.
Anish, this is one for you, but go on.
Yes, exactly. Honestly, I don't care about the win. The wins are nice. The wins are secondary.
They're incidental.
If the tailgate is great, that's all I care.
Anyway,
about.
Sorry, you were going to say
you have that perspective of what's coming ahead of us, guys.
I know exactly.
You were going to say
that's what's called foreshadowing. I have a soft spot. This is a safe space.
I bet you do.
I have a soft spot for
Very soft.
LSU and Texas. I love both of those schools. I love.
Both?
I don't know why. I don't know why. Texas has never had a cool coach. Never. None of Texas's coach can be cool. The Mac was really it,
and that's not that cool.
He's kind of nerdy. Yeah. It's like Texas has. I do the horns down thing as many times as anybody else, but that's cool. The point is the fact that like Texas is real cool. They got the burnt colors. It's really great. And they've never had a single coach, maybe Strong, but even he was a nerd. Like, I mean, or, you know, I don't know. It's like, why can't these coaches be cool? At least LSU had Ed, right?
Right.
And Ed was perfect.
Well, Ed's like next level cool, though.
I mean, like, and he was perfect for LSU, and it's like, and those colors, it's the best. And so it's like, when Texas does that, it's like, what are you doing? Washington's another one where it was like when Peterson was the coach, I was like, I love this place. Like, that's a school where it was like, it'd be amazing if this program that was at the top of the sport was Purdue. Like, it's so rare, especially in football, where you're like, the way they're running the program, the athletes that are coming out of it, their style of play, like the coach, like I would have been thrilled to root for a Peterson Washington team. And so it's like, those are the schools for some reason that that sink into my heart. Why can't Sark be cool, man?
Right. Have any of you guys seen the preview for the LSU? I think it's on Prime. There's an LSU mini series, and they have Livy Dunn's on there, which is a reason to watch if you're into that sort of thing. But they have a lot of LSU athletes, and they have Angel Reese on there when she's, and I'm not a big fan of her just because I think she's trying too hard. I mean, all the time off the court, always trying too hard. But they talk about just the massive amount of money that's coming through that athletic department.
Oh yeah,
and I think I'll feel pretty filthy if I watch it.
We've always talked about this, which is like, there are these programs which on paper they are the best programs in the best like potential programs in the country,
right?
Like,
because the personnel
in the right way, and the single school in the state, which is why it's like, I think Georgia has always been a better program or a better potential, better job than Alabama, because like Alabama, as much as they're the flagship program, there are two major programs in that state, right? Mm-hmm. Georgia, that's the one, right? Ohio State, that's the one. Like, those are programs like that. LSU is just like that. It's like that is the school in one of the most talent rich and money rich like that places. It's there, man.
These comments make me laugh. I keep looking away from it so I don't laugh at it.
Brian Kelly, again, I was gonna go with, so Jay Money and Jay Money Jr. went to Clemson, LSU, and I was probably gonna, if I would have joined them, I would have joined in an LSU shirt. And the only reason I wouldn't have done that is because of their coach is Brian Kelly.
Right.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I'll just wait until he gets fired for
another comment on cool coaches. Joe's missing the assignment a bit. We're talking about football,
man. Yeah.
He says, is Shaka Smart not cool? Well, ask Texas fans, because I don't think they did very well while he was there.
And I am Shaka's biggest fan on this on this podcast. But yes.
Shaka's grown on me actually as he's gotten older. I didn't love him as a young guy.
Marquette is such a good fit.
Yeah, it's weird, and I didn't think that was a good move, and it's been a great move. So.
Just leave, like, exactly. Like, maybe if the cool coaches leave like that, like, like there's something poisonous with the athletic department.
So can I ask you guys a question about the game? I know we don't want to talk about that too much, but can I talk about?
I talked about the tailgate. That's all. I'm good. I'm done.
And I know we actually did vow we're going to move on from the Walters era, but let me ask you a question: would Ryan Walters last year have won this game? The SIU game.
Yeah.
See, I think in year one, he wins that game very similarly.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
And maybe again, like that, I was talking to everybody that I talked to, like that walked up to us and was talking, coming up with, like we were talking about this point, which is that Purdue football has gotten to the place, strangely, where, and maybe it's just the athletic department overall, where it's like we can't go through Hazel era extended, multiple years of nothing. But it's like
Right.
we had one bad year. The first year was good. Like
Yeah.
the first year was
Yep.
perfectly fine. And so
Yep.
it's like when I say I think so, I think it's that first year talking, the further and further last year gets from, the rear view.
Yeah.
It's like, I think so, but
I don't think he wins last year. I'll
Yeah.
answer that very directly. I don't think
Okay.
last year. I think those
because there was some pressure there, right? And that team struggled when they start getting pushed on. It wasn't a good thing.
Well,
right?
when Southern Illinois went down the field, like going through butter the first 2 times down. The second time, I think it was a 3-play drive.
Mhm.
And by the way, it took immediate, and Odom talked about that. It took immediate adjustment because if you don't, like he said, you're going to blow it out of the
and
water.
what did we say last year's team couldn't?
They didn't adjust.
Ever.
They didn't. They didn't adjust all season. They adjusted for like one game. No, let's keep the safety.
I mean, particularly the defense against SIU. Like that was the thing. That's the thing. I mean, if we're going to be honest, like that's the thing that I'm still really concerned about. Like I don't like. I'm not.
Well, you have to be concerned. The first game, I wasn't concerned. This will bring that concern up, right?
I'm not. And like, who comes to town next week, Boiler Down? Can you tell me? Is that going to be a problem?
Well, I've got some things to talk about with USC here in a minute. Like, that might make you if you're remember, I picked that as my big upset for the season, USC.
Still feeling
and
good.
The reason I did it, I got to stick with it because I got to stick with it. It's documented. Sure, why not? Yeah, Purdue's going to upset USC. I can tell you after watching them and doing even more research, my feelings aren't as hearty. They are not as. I'm not feeling it. Like everybody has this. Sometimes you're like, man, I felt like this was the week, and then they don't win. You're like, it's all stupid that we do that. By the way, guys, when we that you don't have anything to do with that, and it's great when it lines up and your favorite team upsets somebody, and you thought this was the upset. But I can tell you, there's a lot at USC that I'm like, okay, this is a pretty tough team. Here, let me tell you guys something a little bit about USC though. If there's one thing that is a bit of fool's gold, and I think it's a really interesting factoid. Okay, they beat the hell out of Georgia Southern, right? And Georgia Southern had pretty good teams the last couple of years. Okay, but they beat them badly, 42-14, something like that. Okay, Georgia Southern though played at UNLV, so they played West. Did they come back to Georgia and then they went back to USC? That's rough. That's really rough. And I'm not kidding around. Think about all the teams that struggle to go across 2-3 time zones.
Well, then
they did it 2 weeks in a row. That's hard.
And then where are they coming this week? Right.
Who?
I mean, like USC. So it's like,
I'm talking about Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern.
I think it inflates that number. That's okay. But I think it inflates that number where Georgia Southern could have just been dog tired and kind of mentally all scrambled.
Yeah, at Fresno and then at USC.
I see. Okay, sorry.
And it's something that I don't think many people have talked about, but it got my attention. I'm not saying that that's something we're like, okay, that obviously Purdue's going to win. The other thing is USC's defense, this is a positive, has a tendency to give up kind of big running plays. Mm-hmm. Those things can make you say, maybe, Purdue, pretty good running team. So
sticking with the SIU game, I mean, that was one of the strengths. And also it's like, and I got, a Barry Odom taking the, in the chamber here, but Maccabee, getting Maccabee going and just even when the defense was struggling, saying like the heart of our team is the running game. Like the heart of this team is the running game. Mm-hmm. Like stick with it, stick your blocks. Like, for most of the most of the option stuff, I don't even think he was making reads. I don't think Brown was making reads. I think it was just giving the ball. Like, I think they were just the glorified handoffs, right?
I think in the first quarter, I don't think he was reading at all. It was like he was just running a script, but it's funny. It changed. His RPOs became pretty late reads. And some of them were I was like, whoa, I can't believe he threw that ball. There's one where he went down the line of scrimmage and he threw a real low one to Branch, I think. No, it wasn't Branch. It was somebody else. It was one of those. Was EJ. What's his last name? Sorry, this is really hard for me. I'm being really honest.
I know.
I mean, really honest. I'm like, man, I see a guy and I'm like, Oh, okay, this is new. And if you look at the fact that Purdue spread out the receptions among what, 8 receivers, 7 receivers, they need to think about me a little bit when they're doing that. And that's not helping me. I'd like to see somebody light somebody on fire so I can really learn what this guy's all about. Correct. Instead, you have guys, one guy getting a touchdown, another guy getting a touchdown. Branch gets another touchdown. Tuggle gets his first touchdown. This is great. But a lot of guys got receptions. And the funny thing is, even with a lot of guys getting receptions, there wasn't one guy that stood out because there's just so few plays, right? This offense is predicated on really taking time off the clock. Right. This could be a really good thing too. Don't let USC get into a rhythm, right? If they can play that idea that I talked about a couple weeks ago, right? I mean, it's not a super dynamic offense though, right? And I think that's part of the give and take about why they're playing the way they are.
Well, I think keeping the ball away, where you're going with that, right? Keeping the ball away from a good offense is what you do, right? If you can keep them from being on the field, that slows down their chance. I mean, their thing is putting up lots of points. It always has been a Lincoln Riley thing, right? So, and Purdue, I thought it was interesting. They did not own time of possession against Ball State, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it wasn't that close. Like Ball State had the ball a lot longer than Purdue. And Purdue did hold it against Southern Illinois, and it was noticeable, right? Like I think Odom decided, I think the adjustment was, like, let's just hold on to the ball, slow things down, grind it out. Maccabee can get 2, 3, 4 yards whenever we need it. So just do that. They had a lot of third downs. That's the other thing that was different. Remember how many times they couldn't convert third downs?
Yeah.
Regime. And there were a lot of 3rd and 3, 3rd and 8. And you're like, wow, they did it. They got it. A couple were penalties, but not a lot. No. And that bodes well because he was clearly, you said this, I don't think he's totally, taken off the, he hasn't opened the playbook yet. I don't know how much more there is to open, but I think that was a little bit of practice, wasn't it, for next week? Like holding on to the ball, running the ball a lot, sticking with it when you probably could have tried to.
It's still pretty vanilla what they're showing, and it's real. They're really showing reaction plays, right? Lots of reads, lots of vanilla blocking schemes, right? EJ, I did figure it out. EJ Horton. And
Horton, that's it.
And there's no way, I got to tell you, that's one of the guys. There's no way I knew his name coming into that game. I'm being really honest. I'm trying to be. This is the thing. I'm always amazed with people, whether it's a guy in the media or just a friend of mine who looks at a roster once or twice and he's got it. I'm not that guy, and it's probably because this thing doesn't work very well, right? I'll plead literal ignorance of the roster, but I've done my best to try to learn. You guys have seen that I've studied things and I still can't get it. So I feel pretty bad about it. And they're going to, Morissette's going to, I don't think they talked about it, but I think it would be a good week to bring back Morissette and really, and then, they could look like a different receiving corps. Chauncey Magwood is another guy that would be really nice to have another weapon in there, but it's pretty nice that some of the guys like Horton is one of the guys that actually caught the ball and was thrown his way. So that's good.
I'd like them to throw it to Michael Jackson more than once. That would also be good.
Yeah, he threw it to him twice, right? And one was the overhead down the, where he missed him going down the right sideline. So
right,
yeah, that's not the. Yeah.
I also think if Ryan Brown scores a very clear hustle touchdown and stays in bounds all the way, I would like that call to go Purdue's way. People were pissed and they knocked it in like 2 plays later, but that's not always going to happen. No. And that was a terrible, terrible call. That in real time you could see was a terrible call. Then on the replay you could see it was a terrible call. And then all the pictures since you could see it was a terrible call. And they just confidently said, nope, this is correct.
Yeah, people on Twitter saying, yeah, they made the right call. I'm like, what the hell were you watching? And I had multiple people say it. And I know we've got a lot of people that follow us on Twitter. And I was like, that's not right at all. Like, it's just not correct. And multiple angles showed you that it wasn't correct. Even the ones that didn't absolutely showed you it wasn't correct, showed you that, like, oh, we better look at this more. Right. It was a bad, wrong call.
I wonder how that goes when you make that bad call and then right after it, they showed it on the scoreboard with the freeze frame. Like, do you look up and go, oh man,
I don't know.
Because when they review that, maybe this is a dumb question, but when they're reviewing it in college, they're looking at it themselves, right? They're not going to
I think they go to an outside source and they review it together. I think there's an office in Chicago or New York, one of those two. because there's no TVs in any other places, no internet connection.
Those are the only
two. It has to be in one of those two cities.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those people who like to swoop in here too, I'm curious if we have anyone who last week we were told not to be excited over beating Ball State.
Right.
Again, another game. I guess you're not allowed to be excited. I will stand firm on wins being better than losses, no matter what any of you say. But for those of you who feel that way, well, you're going to get your wish this week. This week's game will not be as easy, and if they win, you can't say. And I swear, if you guys come in next week and say, Lincoln Riley's on his way out, USC's down, if Purdue wins, I don't want to hear it. You're not welcome. You're not invited.
Oh yeah, you go find another blog.
You don't get to go down on the field.
Stream,
either.
Whatever.
You don't get to go on the field if you
right, exactly. Yeah, you're not welcome.
That way,
we will punch you in the face.
I mean, Greg's already planning, by the way, to be on.
I saw that.
I'm 50, but if Purdue wins, then I'll get on the field with everyone else, says Greg. And I think that's great.
Greg, I don't think 50 has anything to do with it.
By a week? You missed me by a week. You
coward.
Just like you, Greg.
Doesn't. Yeah. Just I
What was the name he put on himself? And then I started calling him that during the basketball season.
It was
Fairweather fan. Fairweather Greg McManus. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's Fairweather Greg McManus right there.
Yeah, he'll go on the field only if they win. What if they lose, right. Greg? Go on the field then.
Exactly. Yeah, show that you're a real fan.
Rush the field regardless.
Woo! Great try. That'd be fun. So you guys heard the press conference. Everybody heard that Jaden Maeva, I think I got that right this time. That is USC's quarterback. And he started for Barry Odom in 2023 at UNLV. The interesting subtext was he said he was going to come back at the end of the season, and he decided not to at the last minute, pretty much.
Is he the one who demanded more and didn't get it?
No. He is that kid. He splits time right now. I saw him play this weekend. Oh, darn it. But yeah, I saw him. He's at another school. He's splitting time at quarterback. Okay. Maybe it was. No. Okay. I'm not going to say it. Did they play? I don't know. Okay. I'm not going to do it. Okay. I'm doing it again. This is when I start. I don't have it on my notes, so it's going to be wrong. But I do have this on my notes.
Yeah,
Jaden Maeva. Odom loves him. He's very fond of him. He's sad that he has to play against him. He went that far to say that. But he said, hope he has a great season, but for 3 hours on Saturday, I hope he has a bad season. So he's got a 74% completion percentage right now. Pretty good. 707 yards so far, 6 TDs, no interceptions. Some have him on a Heisman watch. He's a good quarterback. On top of that, they've got a guy named Mekhi Lemon, who's a wide receiver. He had 158 yards, 4 catches versus Georgia Southern. They've got another guy who Purdue needs to watch. This guy is named Wayman Jordan, running back. He's a former high 3-star, low 4-star, depending on the place you look. 167 yards, 10.4 yards per carry last week. And by the way, Georgia Southern is a team that really prides themselves in stopping the run, and they couldn't stop him. So the secondary receiver is named Jacoby Lane. He had 91 yards receiving. Like, that's the funny thing. You look at Purdue's stats last week, right? And you're like, okay, nobody had more than 50 yards receiving. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah, it'll do that. When I get motivated, smoke will start pouring out. So one more thing about Jaden Maeva. He was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year in 2023, which I think is pretty damn cool. So he's a good player. And he's one of those guys that Lincoln Riley can do some magical things with him because he can do it with his feet. He can throw the ball really well. Here's a really cool thing. Okay. I dug really deep. So now that we're playing teams that you can look up, you're not playing, teams that don't have any information on them. Like
each player doesn't have a photo next to their name.
Right. So this is like real football. So you get an opportunity to this. I think you guys would like this. Purdue has had 5 penalties on the season. Okay. That's pretty nice. That's something that proves out some of the things you guys have both talked about with the discipline and kind of the seriousness Purdue has handled the games with. At the same time, USC is one of the worst, if not the worst in the Big Ten, with 13 penalties so far. And they have not played anybody. So if they're struggling, maybe you can rattle some cages and get guys to start getting jumpy. Remember, though, the new NCAA rule, this is another thing that's really dumb in college football. If you make a non-football movement before the snap as a defender, they will call you for delay of game. They will not call movement for the offensive line. So look for that dumbness on Saturday, because I could see that one coming in as Purdue tries to make life difficult a little bit for Jade Maeva. So let's see. Do I have anything else here? Oh, okay. USC last 2 years, down years recruiting, guys. Okay, down years. Last year, 18th in the nation. Oh, it's sad. The year before that, 13th in the nation. Oh, not good. So instead of 5 and 4 stars, everybody's like a 4 and lower 4-star.
With a couple 5s probably in there.
With a couple of 5. They had 1 5-star last year. I did check on that.
At all.
So yeah. So that's what I got. I don't know. How do you feel, Jay, about this compared to SIU? Last week you said, I don't feel as good as I did before. How do you feel about USC right now?
Well, I will say, okay, we're among friends, right? No one's really listening. I can say whatever I want.
Sure.
I'll be the wet blanket here. For the start of the season, I was never one of you guys in on this being a win. Okay.
You weren't.
I've been consistent on that.
I can attest.
And after watching their offense, and I know they played nobody, but after Purdue's defense, which I love you all, Purdue defense, and I want nothing but good things for you. I'm very, very concerned about this weekend. I think
this could be an absolute drubbing, huh?
Well, when I was walking to the car, I said they're going to hang 50 on Purdue this weekend.
Yep.
Now, I think Purdue's going to score points. Don't get me wrong. I think Purdue can. I am. What's the word? Encouraged, I guess, by the fact that not that Purdue's been flashy on offense, but that, like I said, I saw things. I saw Odom and the offensive staff saying, okay, this is what'll work against SIU. Let's just grind it out. Let's just do. We're gonna be bigger.
That's what it felt like, didn't it?
And more talented. So we're just gonna do it. He's gonna do what it takes to win, or what he thinks give them the best chance to win.
Yep.
So I'm confident he's gonna try to keep the ball away from USC. It's not gonna be gadget plays. Maybe be something mixed in if you need it. But I think it's going to be, how do you keep the ball away from that offense? And to your point, if they're an undisciplined team, even slightly, that can help Purdue too. I think they're going to give up a lot of points, and I think they're going to score. I'm not worried about that. And this is what I said at the start of the season. I said to all of you, Purdue's going to lose games this year. They're still going to get blown out in some games this year, but they're not going to lose 66-7. That's not going to happen. They're going to give up points, but they're going to score points, and they're not going to quit. That's my prediction for the season. I think they're going to look like a team that is bought in, and I just am very, very, very concerned about what that offense is going to do to Purdue. If I'm proven wrong, what have we said for 18 years? I love to be proven wrong.
The happiest surprises. Right? Love to be wrong.
But I don't know, man. You didn't need to give me this stuff for me to go to your question.
Yeah.
You gave me the stats last week, and you pointed out how big SIU, and you could see that. By the way,
they had receivers that were big too.
Their quarterback is a big boy. Their end was very athletic and very talented. Their line, when they lined up across from Purdue, they looked bigger. Their O line was bigger than Purdue's D line. And those first 2 drives, man, they did whatever they wanted. And I think Purdue being able to adjust to that, and SIU almost being like, crap, that didn't stop working. What we did stopped working. That's great. That's terrific.
USC has a couple 6'6" guys on their depth chart, 2 deeps. One of them starts. He's a legit giant, dude. And a friend of mine used to say, he said, do this. And you guys, I had never heard this before. My buddy, he played Division III back then, football, before he came to Purdue. He was my roommate. And he said, watch the length of the arms of a blue chip program.
Yeah.
Watch how long-armed the offensive line. They're just incredible. Yes. That creates so much space because these guys are already stronger than you. They're bigger than you, so they're kind of looking down on you. But a 6'6" guy who's 320 pounds and athletic and has a wingspan of 7'2", yikes, man.
Yeah,
it's craziness. So that's and he used to say that. This is back in the lousy 90s when Coletto teams were there. And he said, look at these Notre Dame offensive linemen. They are beasts. And I think we're going to see that type of thing versus USC. The other thing that I've noticed, I started noticing this, start hashing out, is if you guys notice that Purdue looks like they need to put some weight on, like generally across the board. I
always want
this week because they were playing SIU, and I was like, okay, I'm learning this versus SIU. There are guys that are out there that are busting their ass. They're really, really good football players, but they're a year away from being like high impact players because they're just not developed yet.
I mean,
And so,
like as I've gotten older, so as a kid,
mhm,
I grew up on Peyton Manning football. Like this is like fast and quick, and the offensive line was good, but prioritize being fast, right?
right.
The older I get, the more I'm like, dude, just like recruit and draft big fat
Athletes.
guys, just big
In
guys.
football, just go after athletes. Well, go
Yeah,
after fat guys. Just like in basketball, you go after athletes.
exactly. Well,
Well,
athletes are
that's
linchpin
really
in
the
basketball.
magic in Wisconsin and Minnesota. That's what they in Iowa,
Just
right?
go get
They've
We'll
beef.
got
get
them
there.
there.
I
Get
have a
beef.
point here, but let's put a bookmark in that
No.
in that thought.
Why don't we just go to your point?
No.
I'm sure we'll get back to it.
Let's do USC. Let's do USC. Oh, we will. We will. Don't worry about it. I am not feeling great. I think this is one of them where USC has something to prove after a couple of years, and they're going to
Correct.
come. This is going to be such an easy showcase road, maybe meaning it is such a clear showcase road game in the Big Ten, traveling across the country at a new venue. Like I think they're going to want to, and I think Riley is going to want to use this as one of the games that's like,
That's
yeah, we
true.
don't have a problem. Yeah, we
Well,
Yeah.
don't have a problem.
to bolster your point, there are people who will talk about, and this I'm not going to reject this as a possibility. The whole traveling east, and
Hmm. Hmm.
and could you look ahead because this is one you should win? Yes, that's all possible. But if you're a good coaching staff and you know you've got, let me just rattle it off, boys. The next 5 games they have are Michigan State at Illinois, Michigan at Notre Dame, at Nebraska. They cannot lose this game
No,
if
they
they
can't.
want their season to go the way they want it to. They cannot. If they lose this game, the whispers about Lincoln Riley
Oh,
are
they're not whispers anymore.
well,
No,
they'll get
yeah,
loud because they would need to pull a Tiller where they lose the game they shouldn't and then start beating teams they shouldn't. Like because they're not going to be favored. They might not be
but
favored
the
at
thing
Illinois.
you can't do that when you're at USC. You're supposed to win the games. Like
Yeah,
you
all of
are a
them.
blue chip program.
Yes.
Like this is yeah. So to me, it's like man, but talk about some of my one of my favorite coaches that has taken such a a dive in my respect thing where it's like, man, Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma was awesome. He was fun. That was a great for a Joe Tiller like fan, right? That was the program. Like when you're talking about the offense only basketball on grass, like these kind of programs, coaching what 3 straight Heisman quarterbacks. Like he's coached 5 in his 5
It's
years at
crazy. It's
in
just
his
nuts.
5 years, 6 years at Oklahoma. He has now put 5 starting quarterbacks into the league. 5 current starters in the league are Lincoln Riley quarterbacks. Like he at Oklahoma was a great coach. And he had a good fine first year with Caleb, but obviously they didn't win. And it's been not great since then in Caleb's second
Is
year
it
and
just
last year.
because it's a lot of fun to go out in the evening in California and
Exactly.
weather's good? And in Norman, there's just not much to
You
do.
mean as far as not being able to get the players to perform?
Yeah, is it that simple? I mean, he didn't forget how to coach. He's still got
I mean,
similar talent.
this is where we take a shot because Anish is going to say foundation. There is a difference when you are building on the faulty foundation that USC was building and when you take over for a Stoops program. Like
Yeah.
the Stoops program.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like when Stoops left, that was one of the, I mean, along with Bama, like that was one of the showcase programs where it's like nothing's going wrong. Like, you know what I mean?
Just keep it going
It's
down the track.
all within the range. Exactly. You
It's
know
like
what
By
I
taking
the
mean?
over
way,
Ohio
am I
State.
this much of a moron that I just thought about this one? Speaking of foundational problems,
Probably, yes. Go on.
this is dumb, and I should have thought about this before. But you have Lincoln Riley hand the keys over to Brent Venables,
Mm-hmm.
right? Venables a defensive genius.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley thought they didn't need to play defense at Oklahoma. So mercy, what a tough assignment for Venables.
But that, oh yeah, and
Gracious.
that's also kind of how Stoops saved the not slow downturn, but it's like they were stagnating, and then
Yeah.
you bring in you mentor like Riley, and it becomes this great offense defense program, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Venables has it. I mean, like, to me, man, Venables is on thin ice. Speaking of
he is.
Oklahoma, but like,
I don't know, guys. He just beat Michigan.
Yeah, but
I don't
like,
think this is my hot take for the year, and I've stuck by this off camera.
Young, man.
I don't think they're very good.
No.
I know their schedule is helpful, but this reminds me a lot of a Joe Tiller team that got a really, oh my gosh, check out their schedule. They're all the media is like, okay, they're back. I don't believe they're back.
No, I agree.
I think they're going to be an 8 or 9 win team.
Oh, horrors. Look,
yeah, for them, right? They paid $7 billion for Underwood. They got 2 years to make that right, and he's picking fights with wide receivers.
No, I think I'm going on record right now that's a problem. Michigan having that good of a quarterback, that's an issue.
Let's not veer too far from the point we're making to suggest Oklahoma and Venables in trouble. He's got two things going for him. One, whatever you think of Michigan, they're 15 when they beat them. Okay, and that's a big visible game, and they won.
Absolutely.
The second
it was the focus game, right?
The second thing Venables has going for him is that everyone in Oklahoma wants him to succeed because they all hate Lincoln Riley now.
Correct.
So I have seen so many people be like, "We're better off with Venables." Okay, sure you are. Like, but that helps. That helps
a lot of people were saying that, and you laughed at them, and you should laugh at them.
But that helps him. He's a little more rope. You're right. Like, and he's 2-0, and I think that if you look at theirs, they now have Temple. Okay, then they have Auburn. Then they have Kent State. Like, then it gets hard. They got to play Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Alabama, and Missouri and LSU in succession. They finished with 7 ranked teams in a row in the SEC.
I was going to say that's maybe 3 wins. Oof.
Yeah, it's going to get bad. I'm just saying you can't say it right now. If he keeps things going.
This is year 3 for both of them.
I think so.
3, I believe.
3? No, 4.
It'll be 4, yeah.
Yeah. I think Lincoln is going to want to not avoid all of those conversations. And listen, I loved the running game. The passing for Purdue, the passing game last week was concerning because of the amount of drops and sailed passes.
He missed some easy passes.
There were a ton of drops too. That was, that wasn't great. The defense for the first half was like concerning, like more than concerning, right? The secondary was supposed to be our great strength, right? Secondary and linebackers are supposed to be the great strength, and it's like, what's been going on there? The team is not bad. They are not. They are not at the point where I think they're going to upset anyone. They haven't shown me anything yet that shows me that an upset is a thing that they can do, because
you need something to have an upset, right? You need to have some X factor. And I don't know. I don't see it right now.
There needs to be dynamism, and there needs to be high variance. When you play high variance,
a fun word
football,
to say, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I got my words. I'm a big word guy.
You have
a
big board, and you're just checking them out.
It's just like you need a high variance style to upset teams. I don't think that Purdue has that yet. I'm not saying that they can't, but I don't think that's the goal of what Odom wants to do right now. I think he just wants to get consistency. Because he is a boring old school ground and pound football coach, like program builder, which is good. Like, I'm not saying that
until he starts feeling like he's got it, right?
So this leads into the eventual list. I got a list of guys. I'm going to name a list of guys. We're going to get to the section of the program, which is the list of guys.
Hey, I got bad news, guys. I wanted to share this with you.
Continue.
This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. Okay, guys. I hope you're all sitting. If you're listening, take a seat. I checked with Google AI, and I don't know what's Google AI's name.
A1.
Steak sauce.
Google Al.
Google Al.
Yeah.
Google Al.
According to that, Purdue already lost the game.
Oh.
I like how many things it gets wrong with that.
Man, AI is wrong so damn often.
We should reorganize our economy around a thing that is wrong for you.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
It's a thing I've been saying. All these people worried that AI is going to take over. It can't even spell the word Purdue right. So I'm not that worried that it's going to take over.
Well, just because it's wrong doesn't mean it can't take over. Let me tell you something.
You know what? Okay. Fair point. Excellent point.
Can I, Anish, before you start going into names?
No, go on.
Since we're talking about random teams, since we already touched on Michigan, and somebody asked if it was the Nebraska portion. No, we'll talk about them at a more opportune time. They're not doing anything I enjoy right now.
No,
but let me give you a team that I think is going to make the playoff, and that is South Florida.
Unbelievable, man.
Now think about this, guys.
They're fun, man.
But think about this. Their first 3 games were versus Boise State, at Florida, at Miami. If you go into a season with those 3 and you think 2-1, man, I would be stoked, right?
Over the moon.
They could beat Miami this week. And then, can I just read to you the rest of their season? The rest of their season is South Carolina State, Charlotte, North Texas, FAU, Memphis, UTSA, Navy, UAB, Rice. That's it. That's the list.
Yeah.
And they're in a conference that gets in. So they're going to make it if they even if they don't beat Miami, they might. Okay? Because they're going to go 11-1 if they don't beat Miami, I think. And if they beat Miami, they could go
we talked about this behind the scenes. There was no chance Purdue was getting Alex Golish, their coach, from them this offseason. I think he would have been if he was still at Tennessee, he would have been the guy. Like, to me, he would have been the guy that I wanted to zero in on. I know, like, that would have been the one exception where it's like, I don't care that he's an assistant. Everything about his resume screams like this is a Purdue coach. Like, this is a style of coach that is a Purdue guy. He's a Midwest guy, so it's like if he doesn't stay in the South too long, I do think the Big Ten can grab him back. I hesitate.
I'm confused. I gotta catch up here. But are you bringing this up because Odom's name being mentioned?
It's insane. We had the first instance.
You guys haven't seen this.
The first instance of Barry Odom's name on coaching candidate lists has happened this week, and it was for your Florida Gators. So your Florida Gators.
If Florida speaking of this game, Golish, then they're out of their minds.
Well, they'll hire Lane, baby. The Lane trade.
Lane will be one of them. But man,
I don't know. To me, he is such a good coach. He is like a Purdue kind of coach where it's like a dynamic offense. There are these Purdue type guys. I honestly say Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma was like that type of guy, but it's like these are the types of coaches that we love as quarterback you, and it's like he's one of them, man. He is so good.
I just wanted to give South Florida a little love because I think having that as your first 3, talk about teams that should not catch any shit for poor scheduling. Like Boise, Florida, Miami to start.
Whew. But that's the whole thing right now. The way the system is set up is that if you're from the SEC or the Big Ten, you can schedule cupcakes without any culpability.
But everybody
you cannot do that if you are outside the Power 2.
Yeah.
Am I being right? Really? Because
you're right.
Shoot. It feels like that. It feels like that's what everybody's pointing at. By the way, I had our pal Handel, who this is what he does now. He won't put comments in the comment anymore. He's above that. Yeah. He texts me.
He's got the private inside line.
Yeah, so the guy who left UNLV is at JMU, and he was playing Jeff Brom.
Yes.
And we all watched that. He was splitting time at JMU with the most handsome coach in America.
That's right.
That's his name, but damn it, that
Chesney.
Yeah, that's right.
Anish,
that's a head of hair, dude. That guy's got some hair.
It's a good hair. So we have seen 2 weeks of Barry Odom. We have also seen 2 tenures of Barry Odom at Mizzou and at UNLV. I think we have a good idea of the kind of coach that Barry Odom is. He is not exciting. He is not high flying, but he is a program builder. He is steady. He is defense first. He's a ground and pound type of guy. He is also a retread coach. He has coached elsewhere, and he is on kind of a second ascension, in his career. Mm-hmm. There are many coaches that fall into this archetype. And we can talk about like not necessarily just the defense, but the retread coach that is kind of back on his way up because of one reason or another. They are an older, grizzled guy. There's nothing terribly exciting when they were hired, but there is a chance that they could bring, and this is what we are hoping at Purdue, there's a chance that he can bring stability and a sense of consistency back to the program.
Yeah.
Right? There are a handful of these coaches that have happened over the time, over that fit this vein. Now, I want you to tell me where he will be at Purdue, because the funny thing about Odom is that I think he's too good to bottom out like any of the coaches that that you will hear on this list, but also like some of the coaches that we have hired. I also don't think he's going to be great enough to be on any of these lists, right? So, for one way or another, I do think that we're going to get a long, like 6+ years of Barry Odom, which if you would have told us a year ago, we wouldn't have been the most excited about. Now,
Right.
it's fine. We'll figure it out. I think we'll be all right with it, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be good with it.
So the king of this category, boring, ground and like grinding, the most
Grinding and
definitional- grinding and pinding. I was about to say this.
I know. I saw it. I saw
was
it.
about to say it. The most this archetype. He's the most Big Ten coach out there, and he's never coached in the Big Ten at all. Kyle Whittingham is the most successful version of this coach. You play Utah, and you are getting punched in the mouth.
Yes,
you are getting punched
over
in the mouth
and over
by 400-pound strongmen. It is incredible. That is the king of this. I don't think that he's going to be that, but this is the king of this archetype, right?
He's an exception, isn't he? Though, I mean, is there anybody like him? Gosh, he's so damn steady, so good. I mean, every year they're good.
Every year they're good. Every year they're steady. Every year that you know what they're going
plug and play too. It doesn't matter what attrition happens to them. They're
playing 1964 football.
Yeah.
And they will hit you over and over and over again. Yeah. There's a certain version of fun in that, and it's the argument that Utah should be in the Big Ten because that is the most Big Ten program that exists.
They're the perfect link to the stupidity of the geographical bridge too, right? They would be perfect.
Yes.
Let's just put it. Now we can join everybody up. It'd be great.
There is this next tier, which includes 3 coaches, all very successful, all at these tenures, all known for defense and running defense and running game, right?
Okay.
Boring style offense, but it's there. I think the first coach that I'm going to mention is the coach in my head when I started making this list, started thinking about this. But this list of 3 is Greg Schiano, Mark Stoops, and Luke Fickell. Varying degrees of success, varying degrees of meh, right? But I think
Fickell had some interesting offenses in Cincinnati.
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
So
but
that's
so
a
did
little
Odom.
Different field. To me.
But so did Odom at UNLV, right?
But Odom's was because he got the right quarterback and he started. He had the right OC, and then they started opening things up. Right. He did what Matt Painter did. This is what I'm starting to see a parallel. Is he now, as an older coach, he will react. I'm sure the Bears fans are happy what just happened. He will react to the talent that he has, and he will shift his systems accordingly. That's a good thing, right? An old guy doing things which should, which is if the talent's there, I do something different.
But you also mentioned this at Mizzou. He had Drew Lock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like he is this old school running game defense first coach, but he has been known, like he has been able to adapt, right? Stoops is, I'm not going to mention Kirk Ferentz here because I have no respect for that man.
Right. You act like he doesn't exist. If you ignore him, he'll just disappear eventually.
Yep. The closest I'm going to mention is Mark Stoops. Who's boring and it is fine. He's going to retire a trillionaire because he's going to somehow use Kentucky for all of their money. But then
every time his name's mentioned, he gets a raise.
Correct.
It's amazing.
It's the
you're like, how? What have you done?
It's the James Franklin approach. Like, congratulations. Float your name out there for everything. Greg Schiano's really
and then lose your biggest game of the year every time.
But Greg Schiano is the one that's interesting to me because I do have to, eat some crow here. I thought that Rutgers hiring Greg Schiano again was a disaster.
Right.
It was one of those like extremely uncreative kind of decisions. There are so many good younger coaches out there. they say, well, he succeeded at Rutgers and he's the only one that can succeed at Rutgers. And I still don't believe that that's the case.
I think it might be the truth.
But I thought he was going to fall on his face.
After he retires, whenever that is, the whole stadium will just fall into disrepair.
I mean, the amount of respect I've gained for him over this,
it's incredible.
This tenure. It's been slow. It's not been from depths as deep as Purdue had, meaning Rutgers was a deeper hole that he had to dig out than Purdue is right now. I would say it's more. I'd say
they had more. They had multiple seasons. Well, not multiple seasons like last year for Purdue, but they had multiple really bad seasons where they were horrible.
We are lucky. Purdue has a national football identity, right? What is Rutgers? Other than without using the words Greg Schiano.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The birthplace of college football. James Naismith invented college football at Rutgers.
I think we have that right.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
AI, niche
That's
intelligence.
Right.
I have to credit somebody in the comments there. Niche intelligence. I think that is kind of the best case scenario here for Odom, right? It is, again, a very steady program in a very tough conference, playing a ton of tough games, clawing out 5 to 7 wins by any means necessary, right? Like that to me is like the most likely, like when you hire Barry Odom, that's what you're hoping to get. The next is a tier of, I think, 5 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Brett Bielema, Mark D'Antonio, PJ Fleck, Dave Doran, and Pat Narduzzi. So again, Greg Schiano gets.
See, Doran to me is so parallel with Schiano. They're so boring, right?
But not as boring as Pat Narduzzi, not as anti-offense as Pat Narduzzi, which is why I will slot him above the Dews. But Schiano, Fleck, and Doran were the 3 coaches that I was thinking about when I started putting this list together. This is Adam P. brings up the question, and actually save that comment for a second, Jay, because I want to come back to that. But to me, it's like I was thinking about PJ Fleck. I was thinking about the last decade and a half or however long that Dave Doran's had at NC State.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Rutgers' entire stretch at Schiano's entire stretch at Rutgers, the 2 non-consecutive presidential terms. Like that to me is what you hope for when you hire Barry Odom, right? You are hoping for programs like that. Again, we've talked about this. We were also wrong about PJ Fleck. That dude can coach.
He can coach.
He coaches a low variance.
He didn't need all the gimmicky crap.
High floor, low variance, punchy in the mouth football.
Yep.
Minnesota has an identity, and Minnesota football did not have an identity before that, right? Minnesota is an automatic 8-win team. That is also put, oh my gosh, what's the last Wisconsin coach?
It's perfect.
Exactly.
I can't remember.
Chris.
Paul Christ. And
he is the most forgettable of people.
Correct. In this range is Paul Christ, because now Wisconsin is like, they have higher expectations because Fickle's a better coach.
They pushed Christ out.
Exactly. But are they happy they pushed Christ out? I'm not sure. Again.
They're not happy with that.
But
there's no way they're happy with that.
That is the upside downside of a coach like Odom or Narduzzi or Doran or Christ or Fleck or D'Antonio or Bielema. D'Antonio you can put out of this because there was different circumstances there.
Obviously.
But it is like, those are the guys where it's like, yep, they're good. And if you fire them because you get sick of them, your program is probably going to go into a hole. And it's like, it's a high floor.
To me, Burt and Schiano are really, really good comparisons right here because the states of the program. Is that fair? Because they had to do some work, and they were given the runway to do it the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when you mention some of these other guys where you're like, okay, like Wisconsin, you're coming off like bowl game, right? Like maybe just missing a bowl game, if I remember correctly.
No, that's what I was going to tell you. We don't have to go through all these coaches like this, but Chris is actually an incredible. He was there for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. His last year was 22. He was fired during the season. They were 2-3. But if you start from his first year in 15, I'll just read you his win totals. 10, 11.
This is going to be pissy, isn't it? We're going to get mad about this.
10, 11, 13, 8, 10, 4 in the shortened COVID season, 9, and then 2, and he got fired.
Yeah.
Because he was
My gosh.
He's a good, that's
and
the thing.
He won the West 3 times in there. He won 6 bowl games in 7 seasons, and the one loss was the Rose Bowl when they were 10-4. So he should never have been fired by Wisconsin.
Well,
so did Wisconsin just make their Nebraska move where they're going to be struggling for a couple coaches
to
recover?
Because Fickle made so much sense. I actually completely
I
agree.
never thought Fickle made sense.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's like when you're Wisconsin, you see the expanding Big Ten and you see the potential of Super League happening. You need to end up on the right side of things, and you are the exact type of borderline program that needs to take a big swing and even just needs to spend a ton of money to show that you're serious.
Well, someone in the comments said they live in Cincinnati and they've never been impressed with Fickle.
I was impressed with Fickle at Cincinnati.
I mean,
I was just going to say Fickle at Cincinnati was 57 and 18. He won 11 twice and 13 once.
And whenever they played the big boys, they won. Yeah. That was the thing that was cool about them, right? They would play up and they would kick their ass.
Cincinnati's always been that kind of program.
To me, and I understand as a dude, like he might not be a very impressive person, but he ran Cincinnati in a way that I was terrified of Wisconsin taking that next step,
I agree. Right? I was worried that was a good hire. I was worried it was going to be a good hire.
Absolutely. Now, again, it's not like what Nebraska has done, right? Which is like, expect all of that, because I think Wisconsin's actually giving them, giving Fickle more of a runway. I do think that he's going to get time. I think he's going to do all of this, but
man, I'll tell you this year, if this goes the way it looks like it could go,
better win.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much time if they bottom out this year.
But boiler down to your point, Doran, Fleck, Burt, and Shiano in the tier above were the ones that I was thinking about, where it's like, Purdue has never been in this in my lifetime. Purdue has never been a program that has been in that conversation.
Right.
We have been in the conversation with these high-flying offenses like Heupel runs, like Riley runs, like Golish runs, like these type of and obviously Braum. I mean, like he's the guy. Like these are the types of schools that Purdue has tried to do in the past. Like it is really interesting to me that we haven't. Now, I think your answer is going to be yes. 3 retreads that did not work, 2 of which belong to the Kansas Jayhawks. But let's start. Let's start with Charlie Weiss. Good old Charlie Weiss, Chucky Weiss. Started off 1-11 already on a bet, like Odom's already on a better thing. Kansas deeper hole, very similar to the Rutgers situation that we were talking about.
In college football,
easily. Which is what? Oh, Leipold. Oh my God. Yeah. How did I not mention Leipold when in these guys that are Purdue guys nationally? Like he is the epitome of that. That was a disaster. Anyway, Kansas with Charlie Weiss. And now, speaking of Purdue guys, the second one is Kevin Sumlin at Arizona. And we love him. We love him.
That was bad.
That was bad.
Real bad.
And again, I think his first year was 5-7. Is that right?
So the second season he bumped up a little bit. Is that right?
Second season he bumped up, and then the third season I think completely bottomed out.
He was fired before the end of the season, the third season, right?
5-7, 4-8, and then the COVID season winless. And
he was 4-8 the second year, man.
Yeah. So it was like thing.
He went 0-5 in the COVID year, and that was.
But again, like there were signs before that was not the hire. And again, I don't think, even though the wins may be similar, I don't think Odom is going to be that that type of one. Now, here is the other Kansas hire, which is Les Miles. Started at Kansas. Les Miles. Started off 3-9. And then the COVID season happened the next year, and he got bored and he left, right? And then Leipold took over, which is among the best coaching hires in the last two decades?
So
like
Miles was an old guy when he took. Well, we reshuffled the deck.
we need you in the middle.
Need something fresh. But Miles was how old when he was hired there? Right, he was old, and that's the thing. It is really tough to rebuild when you're old. I think it's almost like, and I thought about this for a parallel. All of us have shopped for houses. We're varying ages, kind of. Two of us are very close, clustered. But I said this in my last house. The guy who we bought our house from was 55 years old. Our last house. That's doesn't really matter. 10 years ago. So I was 40. And I was like, I got the energy to keep up with this house because it was kind of a house that needed some work. I said, I understand why a 55-year-old guy would be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right?
Yeah. Now you really understand it.
Exactly. Now that my back is getting up there, man, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of things where I'm like, I don't even want to try to scale that thing. I don't want to hurt myself. So
here's the counterpoint. How old is Lance Leipold?
Right.
That dude is incredible.
Some of them are sickos though. It's all they know, and it's all they want to do.
Like you Snyder at Kansas State.
I don't care about their win-loss record. You will never convince me that Lance Leipold isn't one of the best coaches in the country.
You brought up Whittingham, by the way. Do you know how old Kyle Whittingham is?
He's going to be old.
He's going to retire soon. He's going to retire
65.
Yeah.
And
for real?
Yeah. And
dude looks young, man. He's in great shape.
Utah?
Probably 18 years. Probably as long as paint.
Very good. 20 years. 20 years at Utah. That's incredible these days. That he never got plucked away. He just likes it there.
I think he got tried.
But again, it's like that version of this where I think all of these coaches could excel at these programs, and they're not going to get plucked because their style isn't like that, right? Like the closest is Stoops. The closest is Stoops to A&M, and I don't even know, like that didn't happen, but it's like.
By the way, Sam over here in the margin is the greatest comparison ever. Sam is Les Miles equals Fred Akers.
It's Fred Akers.
So
absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
That's so good, Sam.
So of all of these guys, and I'll run them down real quick: Whittingham, Schiano, Stoops, Fickle, Bielema, D'Antonio, Fleck, Doran, Dews, and then the three bad ones: Les Miles, Charlie Weiss, and Kevin Sumlin. Where in that 2 games into the tenure, 2 games into what we
really easy to make this decision.
Exactly.
That's the fun about it.
You're doing all this bullshit to build to this question.
Well, so no, and actually I wanted to build to Kyle P's question, that one. Yeah. But so first, are there coaches there that really strike a chord with you? Boiled down to you, it seemed like Doran, Fleck, Burt. And
if I could choose one, I would. I mean, what Bert's doing, it's easy to say right now, especially since they're 9th. But Jay says no. But the reason I like that is they have been getting better, it feels to me like, right? Is he in year 4, right?
Yes.
4 or 5.
And he was left for dead. He was left for dead at his last stop, right? So, and not last stop, but 2 stops ago, after Missouri, a lot of people thought Odom wasn't going to have many happy days ahead, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially not at a Power 5, Power 2 conference, right? So I think the one that's most interesting to me, and the thing that's really interesting to me, is the idea of, can Purdue fans, I think we can easily do this, but can we shift gears to become a defensive loving group?
So can you put up, so first,
I think we can.
Do you have one of those coaches that you're interested in that like struck a chord? I think
we're talking about looking for our next coach.
No.
What I'm saying is like
it's the opposite. That's why I read it.
If Odom turns into one of those guys where it's like he's not going anywhere for a long time, I think he's like, I say all of this because I kind of watched like these 2 weeks, and I was like, I think he's going to be here for like 8 years. Like I think he's going to be good.
And I would love it. I
think he's going to be good enough. I don't think he's going to be great. I don't think he's going to be
realized to your point here. I think Purdue has realized that that's okay being that guy. It's okay being that program because
So first, is there a name there, and then can you bring up, like, is there a name that was interesting to you? But then can you also bring up Copy's question, because that is actually exactly what I was leading up to.
So the funny thing is, when you started this, I was like, "What is he doing here?" And I'm glad you did it though, because it's just a great thought exercise to try to say, okay, what do you want out of this, right?
Because for me, Adam P. Sorry. But for me, it's like, again, Peyton Manning School of Football. I like Drew Brees, Joe Tiller School of Football. Quarterback centric, throw the ball for 1.5 million yards. Don't worry about defense. We're good. Adam Pease. So if Anisha's archetype scenario is correct, are we okay with that? A Purdue program that isn't too exciting, but we as fans enjoy a Saturday afternoon in West Lafayette making plans for a mid-level bowl game.
Yes.
This is exactly the point I was thinking about, because it's like, we're not a high-flying program. I don't know if we're going to be an upset program. The only one on that list that's really an upset program is the Dews, and nobody knows why that happens.
Well, so the answer is yes, because Purdue fans will be thrilled with steadily winning 5 to 8 games. Occasional down year where you don't make a bowl, but you're steadily making mid-tier bowls, because that means you are positioned to every now and then.
Yeah,
the schedule falls right, the talent falls right, and you're winning 8-9. You're dreaming of 10, as I often do. So I think, of course, you're crazy if you don't think that's good.
I mean, yeah, Fleck. So it seems like Fleck is your kind of like what you just described there, but no, like, is Fleck's program, like, not PJ Fleck himself, but like,
of course I would take that program. As Sam says, if Odom wins 7 to 9 wins a year for 10 years, which is not quite what we said, but if he does that, he gets a statue.
Hell yes. I mean, that's a lot of wins.
And then Frail Hammers says, Jay Money isn't donating us for a statue until he gets 10 wins. Exactly.
He has to get 10.
He doesn't want 9.
Doesn't want 11. Doesn't want
9 or 11.
He's not a fan of 9 or 11. Yeah.
But, I did talk last week about the best part of 9/11.
Yeah.
I
wasn't on the podcast. I wasn't on the podcast last week, and I told this to Jay when I was when we were hanging out last week.
Find that one now too,
or this weekend, and I was like, "You said that UNLV had 9 and 11 wins, and he doesn't want 9 or 11." And if I was on there, I couldn't have resisted being like, "Yeah, me neither. Who does? What are you talking about, Jay?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?"
So can I ask you guys a question? Wait, so I don't think Jay, did he give us an answer there? I don't think he really gave.
Well, as I was talking about earlier, where sometimes you zone out during a Zoom call, I lost track of where we were going with that. So that was a 20-minute setup to ask me if I'd like Purdue to be good for the next 8 years. Yes,
but good in a way that
yes, I'd like them to be good for many, many years.
But good in a way that is it's like the more friendly version of the Kirk Ferentz.
Right. We're going to a place where somebody said something about Iowa East, and it's like that's distinctly not what we're saying, because
that is not what he's saying.
When I watch Iowa, I think, yeah, they win 8 to 10 games all the time, but you have to watch Iowa football. And I'm not just saying this. Yes, I want to win 8 to 10 a year. I don't want to watch that unwatchable. It's unwatchable football.
How about this? You're a college football diehard, and if that's on, you'll be like, the only way I'm watching Iowa is if they lose. So watching Iowa State this week, you're like, okay, it looks like it's prime season. Let's go.
How about Matt Campbell in that bunch? You didn't mention him, but I
don't know. Campbell, that's a great one. How did
that may be it right there.
That's your guy.
There's my answer.
That's your guy.
He did it.
That's your guy.
Let me go.
That's a good one.
That's
man.
a great one.
I got to give you a few comments that I've been saving. I want to give people credit here. Motor City Boilers is from a while ago. He says that I hate to break it to you, but Little Dad's friends probably didn't hang around because they enjoyed your company. They stayed for the free food.
I think that's absolutely true.
I will accept.
Ted Berkey says, was there free whiskey at the tailgate? Depends how you define free. I reached into Anisha's car and found a bottle that was still in a box and sealed and said,
oh my gosh. And it was a treat. Anish really, again, I didn't mention that in the tailgating. Goodness gracious.
I bring presents for my friends. Man.
It was amazing.
We got some suggestions on what you say when you're on the Zoom and you weren't paying attention. Quote, Ted Berkey says, I'm sorry, you broke up. That's a good one.
You were driving through a tunnel. I couldn't hear
you. Chris Harder asks if who here is good at making college football players in College Football 26. I want to see Dowd, J Money, and Anish as Purdue players at actual current height and weight. Dude, Anish would be going up like Randy Moss for everything.
I'd get broken in half instantly. Like I'd go up for one spectacular catch, and then
that'd be the end of his career.
Pieces. That's it.
I mean, we've talked about.
If you don't see how fat I am, I sound like a pretty solid running back.
You get the
be tough to take down. Your center of gravity.
Center gravity.
Dude, you'll be a fallback, dude.
But we've also talked about this. Can you imagine taking one hit from a Division I football player? No. I would never walk again. No. And these guys get right. Now, I know I'm old now, but I'm talking 20 years ago. I would never have walked again.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. I'm going all over here out of order, but
Go.
Our friend Dylan Kuhn says, Anish and I saw each other from far away. It felt like one of those slow motion
It
shots
really
in the
did.
movies.
It really did. It was
My wife
great.
said, that guy just gave you a big bear hug. And she knows I'm not a big hugger. So I was like, well, it was Dylan.
Exactly. It was Dylan. What are you going to do?
You don't not hug a guy that looks like Dylan. In fact, I will bring back a Michael Henry quote where he described, I think he was talking about another friend of ours, but Dylan fits this mold too. He said, he looks like the kind of guy who, when he hugs you, it hurts a little bit, but you're okay with it. And I think that's a great description for Dylan. And he's a third grade teacher. This is something I wanted to mention. I bet you anything, the first day of school, when Dylan Kuhn is your third grade teacher, the kids are terrified of him.
Oh, yeah.
And by the end of the
He's
year,
Mountain Man. Yeah.
they love him.
Love him.
Right? There's no doubt that that's the case with him.
Well, I got to tell you, the first time you hear him speak, you're like, man, he's a gentle, lovable dude.
Of course. The big guys almost always are.
Right.
Because they know if they're not nice guys, they might hurt someone.
They're not assholes like me.
Oh, we had a guy.
Not trying to prove anything.
We had a guy walk to our section. So my nephew came to this game. My nephew, who is an Air Force lieutenant, came to the game. This is the guy who graduated from Texas.
This is a great dude, by the way.
Good kid.
Great dude.
We had our seats, and he was sitting with us, doing the thing where you're like, just sit with us, and if somebody comes, then you'll move. But like he was somewhere else, right? And you know how it is at Ross 8 in one of these games. You might have a chance. And he did stay with us the whole game. He's sitting next to my son and a little bit away, like a seat away from me. So I didn't hear this exchange. This guy walks up, middle-aged guy, and he's like, he tells him rudely to get lost from his seat. And my nephew, I didn't hear this. My wife relayed this to me later. She didn't tell me in the moment. She knows better. And she does.
I was just about to say, because that would have been the end. That would have been the end there.
So he gets right up and he moves to the seat in front of me. Then the anthem is played. And then the guy immediately calls his attention and apologizes to him and says, I don't know why I acted like that. I'm so sorry. That wasn't appropriate. And my son relayed all this to me and was like, he immediately was like, I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry.
That's nice. Okay.
And then he got to know him and was like, thanking him for his service.
Right.
And I like people who, it's rare that people who do that then recognize, ooh, I went too hard there. There was no need to do that. And so
say
I give
it
that
out
rare.
loud,
It
but
doesn't
actually,
happen. That's awesome.
Apologize.
But also,
to
it's
him.
not just think it, but actually go and make him.
And then was like
like
friendly.
We all have those moments. It is fine. That actually is great. I like this guy.
Yeah, exactly. That redeemed him. I heard all this later, and I was like, oh, well, I'm glad
you would have ended this early. This play would not have reached
because he just got up and
conclusion.
moved like he'd been chastised. He's like, oh, sorry. Like, okay. Like, it's all you got to do.
You would not have allowed that to happen.
Well, I don't know where this comes from, but yes, okay. A few other comments.
That kid, that's why. That's what it is.
Exactly.
A few other comments about this week's game. I was going to ram through them here. Brandon Alexander says, Purdue beats USC 35-31.
Your lips,
I like it. Motor City Boiler, I don't know if he's kidding. He says, don't forget the jet lag factor. I know we all say that. I guess if they come out flat, you could say that, but I don't think they're traveling in poor style. So I'm not too worried about that. Steve Vizano says, nobody comes into Ross Aid. We forgot about that, guys. We didn't.
We will find out this week
if anybody comes into Ross Aid.
That's right.
Steve Vizano also says he wonders when the last time a fan base rushed the field beating an unranked opponent. Not saying I wouldn't be there too. Do they think they rush the field if they win? They probably
do. You know what the spread is?
It's 20, isn't it?
21.5.
Okay, well, on that subject, I'm glad the perfect segue, Anish. Frail Hammers points out the over-under is 58.5. Hammer that over, my friends. I know college, you can't make it 70. I guess you could, but they got to make it where there's betting on both sides. But I think you take the over. I don't see how you don't.
Okay, so that's how Purdue wins is if it's under.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
This is Barry Odom. Exactly. Grind it down to a pulp. Like low possession games, and all of a sudden, like you bleed the life out of them. And Devin Mockenby runs.
Yeah. Boiler Bugle says, excited to take my dad to the game Saturday. He was in Ross Aid the last time USC was there. And, okay. But that brings us to tonight's trivia.
Yes.
When was the last time? Did you see this comment already? When was the last time Purdue played USC?
Oh, I know that one's easy.
Do you know it?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's when Breeze started the first game in LA. That would have been,
man, you're so good.
1998.
98. I think you're right. But Joe Inslee pops it in here. First game was USC against Carson Palmer.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
Palmer versus Breeze.
Man, how many good quarterbacks is USC?
And the last one about this game was Chris saying, this is Odom's first Big Ten game. Don't sell him short. I love that take.
That's a great take. That's a great one.
And
I only brought all that up to say, like, the way that he's run the program so far, I was not sold on the hire. I wasn't very excited. The way that he's run the program, the way that just how endearing he is in press availability, especially compared to all of these other extremely serious football coaches. Like, he coaches a pretty strong willed program, and yet he can take himself a little bit less seriously than that.
He's so down to earth.
Yeah, he's a lot more likable than I thought. I didn't think he was unlikable, but it's like I thought he was bland personality. No, he's fun. Like it's fun.
He is.
And so it's like, I think we're going to have him around for a while. And again, you told me that a year ago that I would be thinking that Barry Odom is going to be Purdue's football coach for like 8 years, and we're 8+ years, and I'm going to be perfectly fine with that. Like, you couldn't have told me that. You couldn't have told me that 6 months ago.
So let me ask you a real quick question about his personality, because we all saw what his personality was at Mizzou, and none of us were like, oh man, I like that guy.
No.
So is it just because he's wearing our shade of black and gold?
No.
I think
we get to know the guy.
I think getting your dream job and then losing your dream job gives you a level, and then recovering and being okay. Exactly. Recovering and doing well and being fine. It gives you that level of humility.
I also think it's not just that. I think he's a different guy than he was then, and guys evolve, and he was, I said this at the start of the season, he was thrust into that job because Pinkel had to retire. Mm-hmm. And he was not ready to be a head coach and wasn't going to turn it down. And he didn't do a poor job. You go back now and look at it. He did not do a bad job.
At the time, I don't think
nobody thought he did a bad job. When you get thrust into that role and you're Missouri in the SEC now, they went to bowl games. They were what you're describing. Like, if he'd been there another 10 years, they're probably that team. They're not, maybe they don't reach the highs they've reached because they've gotten pretty good at times. They're good right now. But no, I don't think it's just, to answer your question,
they're really more like PJ Fleck's Minnesota team if he stays there.
Well, right. And I don't think it's just because he's at Purdue. I think he's a different guy than he was then. And you're right. We got to know him, and that's a little different. So
I like the dude as a dad. That's the thing. I'm putting things together, just the way he talks, the way he is around his kids, the way and I think people have said that I look like a miniature version of him.
Yes. So every time I think about it,
I probably am going to eventually shave my beard and grow this out just a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah, just a little bit.
I do want to, by the way, before I just mention the one other thing I wanted to mention, Handel Jones makes an appearance. The fact that he thanks the U.S. for being there is huge for me. No, maybe he means us. Yeah. But I thank the U.S. for being
I'd love to thank America. I pledge allegiance.
He talked about what a great place Purdue is. What a great university, what a great stadium, what great fans. And that's not, it's funny. Maybe it's blown smoke, but coming from a guy like him, it doesn't seem that way. He seems to genuinely appreciate the fan base, and he should. That place was full, pretty full and loud this past weekend. And that was not the case after 1-11 seasons not that long ago. So the fans do deserve some credit. But before I relinquish the mic, I wanted to thank our sponsors, because we haven't done that.
Haven't done it at all. And, we had it in the ticker, but not.
We had it in the ticker. I'll put that back up. Yeah. If you're hungry after the game, and it's a 3:30 game, so it is the perfect game.
It's the perfect.
To go. If you don't want to tailgate and you just want to go to AJ's beforehand, you have our blessing. If you tailgate before it and then go to the game and think, you know what, I need some wings, I need some cheese curds, I need some beef, some beer. I want to see a Boiled Sports magnet at the bottom of my beer glass.
Maybe a cocktail.
Oh, this is the thing. We can talk about it now. There's cocktails at AJ's. There's cocktails at AJ's, as if they needed another.
We thought it couldn't get better. We thought it couldn't get better.
They found a way.
They're geniuses. They never stopped to think if they should. No. But yes, go 5 minutes from Victory. Correct? Am I getting that all right? Head towards the fire station. Turn left.
5-minute walk from Victory. Yeah.
That's right. I think it's more than 5 minutes. I don't mean to correct everything.
It is more than that.
It's more.
Yeah, I got big legs.
Depends how you walk. That's exactly right. And then
it'd be a jog for me.
And also, I think we're all sporting home field apparel. If you need some Purdue gear, or any team's gear, as Anish might tell you, but especially if you need Purdue gear, go to homefieldapparel.com.
Go Taters.
Tell them Boiled Sports. The Fighting Taters shirt, man. I need one of those.
I'm purchasing it this week. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it looks great. The Fighting Taters shirt does, and we all look great in our shirts, but you may look close to as good as us. I don't think you'll get here because it's a lot of handsomeness. But
it is. What
I will say is I actually have to cut this thing off quickly for a reason, and I may explain one day, but I'm not going to explain it right now.
Nice.
So
good. Oh, a tease.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in live and on delay. Great show. Anish, gave you something to think about. Chew on it for a while, come back, and we can even talk further.